Hello, people of the internet. It is I, That Canadian Fangirl, back again with another episode. So it's late this week. I was feeling kind of flu-y when I was usually record this, so I feel better now. I feel much better now, so I can record this episode on this lovely Singles Day in my new episode setup because Spotify podcast is changing stuff, but Anyway, today, for that glorious week in February that we call Valentine's Day, we're going to talk about romance. And for that, I want to talk about something kind of new that I want to do for this show. I'm going to call it That Canadian Backlog. I am going to take an episode I'm going to use this episode to take a series, a movie, a game that I've always had on my backlog that I've always been meaning to finish and finally talk about it. So for this week, this is kind of in my backlog because I've been interested in it, but I also randomly rolled it in a random draw. We're going to talk about This Art Club Had a Problem. Yeah. It's I think a really fun show. I didn't know what to expect going into it. Coming out, man, this show was right up what I love about anime. General synopsis for people who don't know what general synopsis for This Alco Had a Problem. This is a series about a middle school art club and just about the students who are in it and the weird comedic shenanigans that these kids get into. So it's kind of a comedy, but not really. Yeah. Now people are going, there's not really a lot of romance in it. I mean, the romance undertones, but it's definitely more a slice of life comedy. But, man, I ain't surprised how much I like this show. Alright. And yeah, so the show focuses on our main character, Usami, who is your typical, everyday, spunky, the typical middle school girl who's in a club, is, likes the idea of creating art and, art history, and is generally just, relatively cool student, and she's in a club surrounded by a bunch of weirdos who clearly don't want to be in this other club. And it's kind of amazing. You have the club president, who I love the fact that this dude, I think, never gets a name drop. He's literally a club president senpai. But he is a slacker president who, even though he's supposed to be in charge of the club, spends most of the time napping and sleeping and generally just kind of not, staying out of everyone's ways. You have a first-year girl named Colette-chan, who is the epitome of basically a wild card, who every episode is basically, she's quirky, she's weird, she's the girl who basically everyone's like, what is she saying this week? I don't get. She's basically the pure random wild card, and I am not saying this because I doubt this is true, but I would not be surprised if what's his name? Took inspiration for Chica if Colette was an inspiration for Chica in Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's the same energy. It's like, no, because I doubt he took inspiration from this show for Chica. But, man, it's the exact same energy as Chica. And Chica's one of the best characters in Kaguya-sama, so if you love Chica, Colette's amazing. Then you have Amali-san, who is the transfer student who comes in halfway through the show, who is a total Shinubio weeb, who basically takes any time she can to basically quote anime and manga, basically, hide, her eye for like, oh, the dragon, I'm holding the power of the Doug Dragon in my eye, and everything, and when she bandages someone, it's basically, completely wrapped up like an anime villain. It's like, so funny. And then you have the other main character of the other club, Uzumaki-kun, who is supposed to be Umami's love interest, but the only reason he's at our club is because he is a hardcore otaku who is bored because he has nothing to do because he can't watch his anime anymore. And so he joined the other club mainly to draw 2D waifus. And that's his whole joke, is he has no interest in 3D women and only wants to draw his 2D waifus. With a lot of really funny commentary about, waifu culture, which is actually really potent. With, when they're talking about, exactly these people who are into waifus, it's like, that's really interesting. And yeah, it's like, I doubt we're gonna get more from this show because it's only 12 episodes, but I could see Usagi and Uzumaki getting together somewhere down the line, basically in the future, but Uzumaki is the type of character where it's like, alright, this kid's got one of two paths. He's either gonna go to high school and basically enter his touch grass phase and basically gonna realize 3D women, I think it's a charm to 3D girls, and you can't live your life devoted to a waifu. Or he's gonna become complete hikikomori neat shut-in and basically completely lose themselves to a delusion and probably become one of those characters where it's like, no, I don't need women, I got my waifus. Stay with me, honey. It's like, but it's always creepy. I mean, there's also weird, all the waifus he draws are really young girls with could be commenting the fact that a lot of waifus are always underage. And with nothing wrong with that, because a lot of waifus always look relatively young. And then they take it a step further where he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm not into actual underage girls, but it's like, let's be perfectly honest, when it comes to waifu culture, that line is very blurred. There's actually a great joke while he's staring at a child, and you're like, oh my god, is he a lolicon? Is he into lollies? And no, he's just staring at a 2D waifu on a channel backpack with a great joke. But it's like, yeah, no, lolly culture is a very blurred one when it comes to waifus. And whether you kind of interested to see them tackle it. But yeah, most of the episodes of this club have the problem of kind of self-contained. Most of it is like they're in a club, they're doing stuff. Some wacky shenanigan happens because of someone, maybe a supporting character, comes in. This is one of those shows that because it's only 12 episodes, every single supporting character is in the intro. And it's like 5 characters, but the supporting characters in the show was actually really fun. Yeah, you have Usami's 3 friends. The Kaori, Sayaka, and the other one who I don't think I caught the name of, who are there to basically be someone for Usami to basically, work off of when she's not, with her art club friends. You have the teacher, I think it's Fusaki, is the club advisor who eventually gets replaced with another teacher named Yumiko Sensei, who is a new teacher who basically takes over a club. And I do appreciate the fact that if they're doing fan service, they only do it with the teacher. It's like, thanks. That I think is really refreshing for a show like this, where it's like, there's like no fan service in this show, and it's actually really refreshing. Like, all the fan service is directed solely at the one female teacher, and it's like, well, she's an adult, and so I'm okay with them making a joke with her big boobs and basically like, oh, it's too tight to fit. It's like, yeah, well, the woman's has to be in her 20s, she's a teacher, so it's like, I'm okay with that. It's like, but none of the students got fetishized. It's like, oh my god, that's so refreshing. Like, there's not a single underage girl got a fan service joke. It's like, which is really, I didn't realize until I did the look. It's like, this is a seinen? It's like, I mean, it kind of shows because it's like, it's kind of more mature than I kind of thought it would be. And that only kind of makes it funnier. But yeah, the teachers are great. They have some great bits. Uka Sensei being a new teacher, and this bundle of anxiety being like, oh, I have to, do what I can for these students, but it's also, I don't want to, all the stuff. It's like, this is actually really fun. And then you have a couple of, other students in the school who kind of get some focus. There's this little girl named Moika who shows up in a couple of episodes. It's the granddaughter of Fuzumaki, I think that's his name, who shows up, and that's kind of a funny joke because she wanders off from her mom and put her on a leash by the end. It's like, that was good. There's this, underclassman at the school who basically confesses a crush on Uzumaki, and he basically rejects her. So, which leads to a great joke when it turns out that her younger sister was the girl he was stealing at in the one episode, and it's like, oh my god, there's sexual pressure on the school. It's like, that's entertaining. Well, it's not entertaining, but it is kind of cool they bring that together. They don't do anything with that, because it's not really that kind of show, but, well. There's a guy in Class 2A that we never get his name from, which is a really funny joke, who shows up to basically be a rival with Uzumaki because he's basically, insulting the other club's art. And admittedly, he sucks that out because he's one of those guys who criticizes art because he thinks he knows better, but he's never made anything and only knows art because of art theory. And it's like, yeah, you can know a shit ton about art theory, but it's like, if you've never drawn, it's not that easy, dude. But leave a really funny joke when he shows up again, and Usami's basically kind of, being kind of friendly with him because you basically want to stick it to Uzumaki, and he basically develops a crush on Usami, and it's like, so he basically gets this, he's arrived with Uzumaki for Usami. It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, the cast of the show is actually really fun. There's a lot of really fun characters in the show. The comedy is actually really good. It's like, for a show that's basically, hey, let's have, a couple of middle school people in art basically doing a bunch of middle schools in an art club doing shenanigans. There's some fun stuff. A lot of the conflict is basically Usami, who kind of wants to be in a relationship with Uzumaki, but she gets tongue-tied and embarrassed anything the time it comes up, so she kind of gets violent, and I don't know, it's kind of fun. You get this idea where it's like, no, I do like it. It's like, I can see them together. In the hypothetical future, well, like, maybe Uzumaki, finally touches grass, and it's like, oh, you realize that, oh, he was into her? But yeah, fun show. A couple of things I really like about this show is, one, I actually really like the intro of this show. it had a great opening. It's like, it's catchy, it's toe tapping. The fact that about another club means they can basically kind of show, kind of sketches with really highlight, the animation of the show, and the fine line of drawing these characters. It's really cool. The ending theme is great. I want to give special an element of the school uniforms in this series. Not so much. The blazers are nice, but we've seen school uniform blazers a lot of times. What I really like is in the middle, maybe 3 episodes, between like episode 4 and episode like 6. The red vest look that they have is actually really cute. It's like, this is a really I actually really like the red on these school uniforms. It's really unique. I don't really see red in school uniforms in a lot of these shows, so when they did that, it's like, no, these are really cool. I like this uniform design. It helps that Uzumaki kind of has, the kind of this vest hoodie thing going on. It's like, it's kind of, it's really appealing. It's really appealing from a design perspective. It's like, it's animated by Feel Animation, who don't do a lot, but I've seen Feel in quite a bit. I think the last thing I seen them do was, what was the last thing I seen Feel do? I can't remember. But like, I kind of like, okay, Feel Animation's definitely not bad. They can do surprisingly good comedy. And like, and again, it's just refreshing to have a show centered in, particularly a show that's supposed to be a slice of life comedy kind of romance, set in middle school, to not be overly tropey. It's like, no. Typical show like this would have like 5 characters all set in one trope. You have a tsundere, probably an oblivious. Like, no, there's not really tropes in this show, and I do respect that. It's like, it's not like a bit of a tsundere, but it's like, she's not hiding her feelings for Uzumaki, because they're super obvious that she has them. It's just that Uzumaki is clearly not interested in 3D girls, as he puts it, but it's like, I'm gonna say this, Uzumaki is not like a clueless, is not the kind of the clueless love interest kind of guy. You don't really have, I don't know, it's just kind of refreshing to have a lot of these characters that basically show up and they're not like overly tropey for the sake of basically making the comedy work. It's like, no, this is a fun, simple show about these middle school kids just, hanging out in their club room. They're drawing out. Sometimes they get distracted by other things that are going on around the school. I will give special mention to the ending, because episode 11, this is a 12 episode series, and episode 11 feels like a finale. It feels like the typical finale. It's the school festival. It's the school festival episode. They're setting up for the school festival. The other club wants to do something for the festival. They decide to make this, giant tin pop can art sculpture, and with really funny with them basically kind of cleaning the cans. Like, we take off the thing, we wash the cans. You're not sleeping, President. You're all doing it together. And then a lot of cans get thrown out because one of the other teachers thinks it was trash, and so the entire school gets together and they basically start selling pop to like their fellow students, and all the characters show up that we've seen in the past every episode. We get to see it, and it's like, this feels way more like a finale. Like, if they would have ended it on this, that would have been more than enough. I think it would end with a great gag when they finish the statue and the person looks like, wait, are we starting in the gym? Yeah, how are we gonna get out of the out room? And they have to take it down so they can reestablish it. It's like, oh, they just cut. It's like, they just cut, and you're like, oh. Because the very next thing was like, alright, taking a poke, we gotta move this to the out, we gotta move this to the gym, we're gonna rebuild the entire frickin' statue. But yeah. And again, it ends with basically, the overall picture of, like, basically the cast, and, like, everyone, that's, smiling, and, like, well, it's like, that's not like a finale, and then you get the actual fun episode, with episode 12, with, again, feels just kind of like another episode, but it works, because the final episode is really just an episode with Usami and Uzumaki's kind of relationship. Well, Uzumaki had another 2D waifu crush, and the two of them discussing whether or not Uzumaki and call Usami by a first name, which is a really interesting conversation, particularly in a Japanese show, where it's like, hey, can I call you by your first name of Mizuki? And it's like that's a huge step. At the same time, it's like, no, you can't actually call me that. That's it's basically not exactly time, and it ends on a great note where basically you kind of see their friendship, basically, and because they kind of realize, yeah, we have this very special relationship that may not be completely boyfriend girlfriend, but they clearly mean a lot to each other. You also get in the first episode when Uzumaki basically talking about how he's going to quit the old club because he wants to draw the perfect 2D waifu, and he thinks in the first episode he's drawn his magnum moment for his waifu. He's just going to quit the club because he has no reason to basically be in the club, and he basically stayed because Uzumaki be like, oh, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone because you do add something to the club, and I don't know. I've generally found this show just a fun time. It's like it was good comedy, some fun characters, nice animation for like 2016. It's like this is a really good animation. Like 2016, back when anime wasn't horribly rushed and you can actually have nice animation like this. Like, it's nicely animated. It's like, I want to look at more, but I think the last thing I saw Feeler do was, did they do the adaptation of Spy Classroom? That might have been, no, I think it was them. Oh, but they did something recently that was okay. But yeah, I'm gonna look at more what Feeler does, because I like their style. They have some nice art. But, yeah. The voice acting is actually surprisingly top-notch. It's not dubbed, but like the Japanese voice actors throwing all into these characters, and it's all fun. Some nice, some nice music, some fun moments, some good comedy, some really good comedy. I love the episode. Well, it turns out I won't go into it, but I love the episode when they basically find a treasure hunt from like previous art club senpais, and they go on this thing trying to find the art club's treasure, and it's just a really risque magazine. And it's like, nope. With at least the whole bit where they're basically trying to hide it. Well, at the same time, you have Colette and Molly basically looking for the Necronomicon, and they're talking about forbidden books, and they're like, oh no! Because they're holding a risque magazine, and they think it, and they get confused, and everybody gets blamed for it, and he's holding the magazine, like, no, I didn't like this stuff! Oh my god, that was so funny! And they don't show anything really risque, so it's like, again, it's so refreshing to have a show that's clearly aimed at a me older audience and not have really obvious fan service. Like, this is not ecchi. It is not overly fan servicey. Again, the only fan service you get in the show is just the stuff with the one teacher. It's like fan service is on an adult character and the underage schoolgirls get nothing. So real. I love it. But yeah, am I glad I checked the show out? Absolutely. This show's always been on my radar, so I'm so glad I decided to check it out for Valentine's Day, because it's like, yeah, probably not as romantic as I would have liked for, but then again, I'm not a Valentine's Day fan. It's like, if I want something overly romantic, it's probably gonna kill the vibe. So, if I have to watch a show with, undertones of romance, but this gives me a fun time with some really likable characters, with some good comedy and upsetting that's really fun, I'll take that more, because this is what I need for this time of year. Happy Singles Day. Yeah. I am always surprised that I like the show as much as I did. So, if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a, I don't know, maybe an 8 out of 10. I would have a 10 out of 10, but yeah, 8 out of 10. That's a really fun series that I overly enjoyed so much. The only thing that hurts about it is, it was on High Dive. I was gonna watch it on High Dive. High Dive took it off their service, so I had to. But it is available to watch on Crunchyroll. All 12 episodes are on Crunchyroll. So if you ever want to watch a fun little comedy, romance, slice of life, seinen series about just a bunch of middle school kids, this Club Has a Problem is definitely a show for you. Yeah. And that's all I have to say for my first episode of That Canadian Backlog. This is going to be on and off every other week of this is what I do, because I have to decide what show I want to check off my backlog. But yeah, tune in. I'll probably do another one probably next month. Yeah, probably next month I'll do another episode of Backlog. I mean, this episode, I can't wait for this to be short, but yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like the video, follow me, share this video either through socials or with your friends. That's how we get more people to watch. Follow me on my socials: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Wattpad, Fanfiction. Remember, fandoms keep you in a box. So like what you like. If you say you like something, you're considered a fan of it. When people ask, what fangirl do you listen to? You listen to That Canadian Fangirl. Which Canadian Fangirl? That Canadian Fangirl. Alright, laters, peoples.